Joining us today on Pirate Radio Live, former ECU quarterback, host of the Holton Ahlers Show. He is Holton Ahlers. What's up, Holt?
What's up, Clip? Thanks for having me. Haven't done remote in a while, man.
Yeah, and having you on a Friday, so we'll do a little Morgan Ahlers, Holton Ahlers doubleheader here
Let's
on
go.
a Friday. Holt, big news on Thursday. We knew ECU's first opponent, NC State. We knew the venue, Carter Finley Stadium. We thought we knew the day, Saturday, to open up the season, but it'll be a Thursday nighter. So that adds a little juice, a little under the lights to get things started for the Pirates and the Wolfpack. What'd you think when you saw that news?
Yeah, I'm pumped. I mean, look, you got a primetime stage, and weirdly enough, NC State has had Thursday night games to start the year the last couple of years, so it didn't surprise me that much. But I'm really excited for it. There was a lot of eyes on the Military Bowl, and then there's going to be, I feel like, even more eyes on this first game because of the Military Bowl and it being the first game, really one of the first games of the season. So it should be a really fun one.
Cade Norman was very non-committal about being on the fifth quarter for week one because he said those rivalry games are games he likes to attend. I know how emotional he gets in those games. We saw that. But Holton, you thinking of attending that one, or are you going to be with me in studio?
I don't know yet, man. We haven't really talked about it. I'd imagine we're in studio in the fifth quarter. Caden just likes to be dramatic sometimes, but we do want to experience the ECU ones too. But we had the military ball, so I don't know. We'll have to see. Thursday night, difficult a little bit to going to it, but we'll see. We're pumped to join the fifth quarter and the new next year's football season again. And, hopefully keep this thing going, Cliff.
Well, the season's over, so we can officially talk about the 2025 season. Have you seen the week one slate, Holton?
For the next year.
Yes.
I have not yet. I have
All
not
right.
looked into it
Well,
yet.
go
Is it a
ahead and
good one?
start your research for these games. I'm gonna say which I'm fired up because I get the first Saturday of college football season off, so I get to
You
watch games.
do.
Uh, but,
Yes.
but
Let's
how about
go.
week one? Texas, Ohio State, LSU, Clemson, Tennessee, Syracuse. Is all of a sudden a
Okay.
good game. Auburn, Baylor, TCU, and North Carolina. J Bone, you say that's the Monday game? TCU, North Carolina, Monday. Two Sunday games. Notre Dame, Miami, and Alabama, and South Carolina, Virginia Tech. Those are the two Sunday games. Alabama plays Florida State. You got Georgia Tech taking on Prime and Colorado. Utah, UCLA. So a ton of great games for week one.
That's pump clip. You already get me excited for next football season. Yeah, I like the Texas one to see how Arch Manning does.
Yeah.
Start off that with a bang, and then Ohio State's going to have a whole new team. So we'll see. Other than Jeremiah Smith, he'll be there 2 more years. That's probably all they need to win a national championship. I mean, I think he might be the best receiver on earth. So, but yeah, that should be a really good one. I'm excited to see the Arch Manning era in Texas, though, and I think Quinn Ewers was underappreciated a lot by Texas fans, but at the same time, he got them to as far as he could get them to, and now I think it's Arch is going to be the one to, get him over the hump, and that's what I would expect at least.
Would be I don't know if you could tie this storyline together, but Peyton Manning did so much at Tennessee, could not get him over that championship hump. And actually, T. Martin, great trivia question, was the quarterback that won a championship there. Now it's going to be his nephew, Arch, trying to get the Longhorns back to the promised land. How about Monday night, Holt? We saw the Riley Leonard drive to open up the game. Notre Dame goes down the field. Riley Leonard was I thought he was gassed, but apparently he kind of fell on the football or something and lost his wind, but ended up scoring, puking, and you're like, all right, Notre Dame's got something going here, and then they didn't score for a long time. Ohio State kind of took over. Irish came back a little bit, but what'd you think of the national championship? Go about the way you expected, I guess?
Yeah, I'm glad it didn't get out of hand. I thought it was there for a little bit, and dang it, Notre Dame did the same thing. They got in the big game and then folded, but they came back. They had a chance at the end. I mean, looked at first of all the 3rd and 11. You play man coverage versus, like I said, the best receiver on earth, and I mean clearly they're going to throw the one-on-one on 3rd and 11. If you have a go ball on one-on-one, you're just throwing it up. I mean, if they pick it, it's a punt, and then. I've been big on Marcus Freeman. I think he's the reason that they got there is those players believe in him. I think he's building a really good program there. But them kicking the field goal
Yeah.
the second to last, I just didn't understand that either. It didn't make sense to go from down 16 to down 13. It really didn't change anything there. It was still going to be a 2-possession game instead of going for it on 4th and I think like 4 or 5. So I really think that was the source of costing them later in the game, was not going for it there. But because then hindsight's 2020, they missed the field goal, but the kicker had problems all year. So I didn't. That was the one decision. Well, I guess the two decisions of playing man coverage on 3rd and 11, and then kicking the field goal. Then that I think cost them later in the game. They had a chance though. They gave themselves a chance. They fought back and kind of put a scare in Ohio State. But at the end of the day, Ohio State pulled it out.
And I don't know if this is an example of that, Holton, but we always talk about like how players react in big environments, big games, playoffs, whatever. But there's also coaches too, right? Like it's a lot easier to make a decision on October 4th at noon on a Saturday than it is in January in a playoff game when everybody's watching. So coaches sometimes go, especially their first time in a big stage like that, maybe coach a little differently than they would in the regular season.
They do, and they had that fake punt and didn't get it. And I think maybe it seemed like they shouldn't have really went for it there with the fake punt. They just needed some sort of momentum and didn't get it. And then I feel like when the field goal came on 4th down, he was almost less aggressive because he was already aggressive in the game. So like I could see that having something to deal with it. But I think you should flip flop those. You should have punted when they ran the fake punt backed up on their own 40. And then they should have went for it and at least given them a chance to make it a one possession game.
Holden, I've looked at it 10 times. I think this is real. The Washington Commanders are in the NFC Championship. That's what
they are, man.
I'm pinching myself. I didn't know if I'd ever see this, but here they are. They got the Philadelphia Eagles after knocking off the Lions. Eagles beat the Rams last week. These two teams split during the regular season. Jane Daniels, 5 touchdowns last time these two teams met. So Washington's beaten Philly once. I know it was without Jalen Hurts. You don't have to scream at me. I know that, folks. But how about the matchup coming up this Sunday? Do you give Washington any chance in this one?
I think they got a really good chance. I think they're going to win it, honestly. I mean, anytime you have a quarterback playing like that, you can tell the team just believes in him and like the culture so much that they're honestly all overachieving, but their overachievement has now become the norm, and they're expected to do that now. And I think teams like that are really dangerous. And I think it was either last week or the week before, Clip, when we talked about it. I said that there's always a team that kind of shocks people and ends up in the Final Four of the NFL playoffs, and this is clearly the team. I mean, they've played well all year. I mean, if you look at it, though, I mean, they've been electric. They've believed all year. Any big moments, for the most part, Jay Daniels has stepped up to it. So it doesn't surprise me at all. I hope they win for you. I hope they win it for Jaden Daniels. I think it's an awesome story. And then Dan Quinn and my former teammate Bobby Wagner's there too, one of the leaders there now too. So pulling for those guys.
Holden, you got to experience firsthand from the outside. Bobby Wagner seems like the best dude ever, and the way he's
awesome.
kind of taking Jaden Daniels under his wing. One of the most unassuming stars. Not a lot of cockiness or me. He is about the team and about doing it the right way.
100%. Yeah, he's awesome. He was one of the guys that I had the chance to kind of get closer to when I was in Seattle, and just going into the weight room early and getting there early. He was always one of the first people there. Him and like Tyler Lockett and DK were some of those guys. So, but yeah, it doesn't surprise me he's had such a good career, and then that he's went from Seattle, which is where he was forever, to Washington, has been kind of a leader and a staple in that, with Dan Quinn, who was part of Legion of Boom.
I think a lot of casual fans, too, will probably be at least enjoying Washington. I don't know about pulling for, but a team that goes for it every time it's 4th and less than 6 is
I love it.
A team that people are going to like watching. And both playoff games, Holton, Bucks and Lions, Washington has failed on 4th down in their first drive of the game. And they fail on that, and they say, you know what, we don't care. We're going to go for it 5 more times and see what happens. But that's part of that belief I think you're talking about too, that Quinn Kingsbury believes in Daniels and this offense to make a play. And they have made it more times than not on 4th down this year.
Yeah, they definitely have. I mean, teams that are dangerous are the ones that feel like they have nothing to lose, and they certainly have nothing to lose. Like I said, they've overachieved all year with the new coach, new quarterback, new OC, new leaders on the team. I mean, they have a lot of new pieces, and they're just continuing to win and continue to build the culture. So they're going into it a lot, almost like the Lions were a few years ago when they, started to make their first run at it before they've kind of started the little dynasty that they have now. Not a dynasty, but, what they're doing with the culture over there. But yeah, I mean, your first year of just saying this is going to be the new expectation is the one that you have nothing to lose. Now, next year, the pressure will be probably more on.
Yeah.
But this is the year where you just go into it free and say, all right, let's do it. Let's be aggressive, because at the end of the day, we're not even supposed to be here.
Holton, on the other side, we're coming off the Tom Brady career, the greatest. People say, and by the numbers, you can't argue it. But Patrick Mahomes, 7 straight, I believe it is now, AFC Championship games. He's racking up Super Bowls. Like, it's pretty incredible what he, Andy Reid, and the Chiefs have done. Who will topple this Chiefs dynasty? Could it be Josh Allen and the Bills this year, or do we get to see once again Patrick Mahomes in another Super Bowl? What do you think about the AFC side of things?
I sure hope it's the Bills. Now, I really liked Mahomes out of college, but he's just won too much, and I'm just
Yeah.
not gonna. But yeah, I mean, I like Josh Allen a lot. He's had a really good year, and then I always like to follow the stories of like Stephon Diggs leaving, his number one receiver leaving, and it actually ended up being better for him. And they're, like Tyreek Hill with Mahomes was another example of that. When Tyreek Hill left, Mahomes started to spread the ball out a little bit more. Now he was really good with Tyreek Hill. I'm not saying that, but it's almost like you don't got to worry about getting this guy the ball or that guy the ball. You can just go play free, run through your progressions, and that's what Josh Allen did all year this year. So I'm pulling for the Bills. I hope it's the Bills Commanders Super Bowl. I think that would be insane. But if it's an Eagles Chiefs Super Bowl like the last 10 years, it feels like, then I'll still watch it, but just won't be as pumped.
I am with you there. Holton Ahlers joining us today on Pirate Radio Live. Holton, 3 more NFL games, and then it's on to spring football. So people are always asking me to ask you, what are your plans? Have you made a decision on the UFL?
Yeah, I'm leaning towards the decision. Haven't fully decided yet. I should know. I think we film the podcast next week with Terrence Copper, and we'll probably talk about it then. I have a couple more conversations I got to have with some people, but yeah, I'm leaning towards it. And you guys clearly will be the first ones to know. Clipper, I'll for the podcast, and then Pirate Radio will all tweet it out.
I'm trying to get the local Boys and Girls Club together, and we can do a LeBron James type decision announcement. So think about that, Holton.
Yeah, I should. I'm taking my talents to the spring football league.
So TBD on that one. Looking forward to the episode with T-Cop coming up next week. No episode this week. Did you get snowed out, Holt?
Yes, we were going to do it. Terrence Copper was going to film this week, and then he messaged and said he couldn't because he couldn't get out of his driveway. So I figured we'd take a week off. We're not having as many episodes this year. We're having 36 instead of 51, I think is what we had last year, or 50. So it averages about 3 a month anyway, so it kind of works out that way. And we're just going to focus on having the best episode every time we have one. And obviously when football season comes, we'll be revving up with everything else that we do there. But yeah.
It's kind of cool, Holt. Your dad went through this for years with your recruitment, but Terrence has some very talented children that
he does.
They're going to be playing somewhere, and and we talked to Kevin Monroe all year long, but his son being looked at by schools as well. So love legacy acts like that, and to see an old Pirate who's now got kids coming up that who knows, maybe we'll have another Copper or Monroe or one day Ahlers on the East Carolina roster.
Well, it'd be pretty cool, man. But yeah, I heard Terrence Copper's kid is a baller from everything that I've seen on social media and stuff. So I don't know. Hopefully he's a Pirate. Hopefully we offer him soon. I know he's getting a lot of looks right now, so I'd love to be the first one to offer him.
Holt, good to check in with you. You got your Knicks hat on. Give us a quick NBA minute. Hey, Jared, Hornets going for number 4 in a row tonight? Son of a gun. Never mind. Nix that. The Hornets are favorites tonight, I saw, against the Blazers. How are the Knicks doing, Holt?
We're doing good. We just got named 2 all-star starters with Jalen Brunson and Karl-Anthony Towns, so feeling great right now. We're 3rd in the East. As long as we're top 3, I'm good with it. I think we can make a run. We will make a run. We have Mitchell Robinson coming back in early February, which kind of closes off our team, and maybe make a few trades, but I feel really good about it. We're top heavy. We need some bench pieces, but we'll see. I think we can at least make a run. One of the next 3 years, the Knicks will win a championship. I hope it's this year, though.
One of the next 3. There you go. All right, Holt, what you got, Bone? Oh, yeah. Jared's team has a new head coach.
He does.
Pete Carroll. So He wants me to ask you about Pete Carroll and does he still got it in him after all these years coaching Holt?
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, he definitely has it in him. I'm pumped for him. I think it's a perfect fit. He's super energetic. He's honestly, he is older, but he has the most energy out of any coach I've ever been around. He'll be running sprints before practice. I don't even know how old he is now. But yeah, I mean, he's a perfect fit. I think they'll win pretty soon with him. He's a 3 years deal is perfect for him. He's going to get him winning, and then he's going to make an attractive job for free agents and for coaches as well. And it wouldn't surprise me if he stepped into a GM style role when he was, when he finishes up.
Should there be any concern about him, relating to players? Can he still relate
Absolutely
to
not.
the guys on the
Yeah,
field?
he's the most relatable, energetic coach I've ever been around. So I don't
There
think
you go.
that's not a worry at all.
All right. Jarrett's smiling ear to ear, so he's excited. Holt, thanks, man. Enjoyed it. We'll talk to you next week, bud.
For sure. See you.